Actually, I missed the previous class. I was looking for the recordings, but I couldn't find in that class material folder.
It is not a class material folder. I think Professor Rajan will share it with you. So I have told him, and others are also asked it. I think he's busy with the orientation program tomorrow for the executive MBA. He'll share it in a day or two, I think. So. Okay.
Sure, Professor. Thank you.
Yeah. You also put a message that it's not there, so that he can just do that needful to everybody. Okay.
Yeah, sure.
Are you able to see my screen?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So today we'll be working on pivot tables, data tables, goal seek, and what if analysis. So before that, as I told you, so how exactly, what's the reason why we learn all these things? Just to give an example, like in a real life situation, how Excel helps is what I'm just going to demonstrate. So I think I just shared this file via WhatsApp on the common group. So you can download it. I think most of you have done it. People who have joined late, please download this file. It contains 4 different sheets there. So what is the purpose of this thing is that probably you get this kind of data or you get some kind of data dumps and all. So what are the things which you can do as part of the manipulation course? So this is for a moderate size data set as I told. So because Excel is something like around the world, everybody, every management person or anybody, like 50 to 60% of the work gets done on Excel itself. Rest for doing a lot of for a large data sets or what you call the big data and all, we move to different programming language and try to do different kinds of analysis. So for this kind of situation, so I have a data set here which has gender in the first column and salary in the second column. So my goal is to, if I go to the second thing, I need to split the male salary and female salary. So this is what I tend to do it. There are Excel add-ins can do this thing. There is a program, there are many programming languages very easily you can, but when you pass the data like this, stacked data, it can unstack the data for you in this format. So what we will do is like, because we read about the index match and all, so like I have used this formula. So I have used this thing and I have come up with this kind of a thing. If you see my screen now, this is the kind of Excel function or Excel formula which I have written. So all these are inbuilt things. So I have used the index formula here and the match, and I have used something known as rows, and all these things. So all the other inbuilt functions of Excel has been used. So why I am telling you that at certain point of time, you need to write this kind of complex formulas also. That also please keep it in mind. So like how we have to do it, there will be chances of error and all. So this, like purposely, I have taken this example. So this I have written because like to showcase the power, like what it can do. So you may think like, oh, it's too complex, and yes, there is a lot of complexity in this thing. The logic how you have to write is being shown here. So what I have done here is like, so I had the data here, gender and salary. I have put a search here. So purposefully I have typed this thing for my, and I have given column names as male salary and female salary here. So I have put this formula here. So what exactly does it like? So this is what it searches. So in the female salary column, it searches for female in the gender column, and what are the salaries of it, it tries to put it in this column. So that is what it does. So index and match, we learned it. for a very simple things and all. So a demonstrated experience like how to really split it and what's the kind of the complexity is involved in terms of a logic is what is being demonstrated here. So this is how you need to do it. So there are many ways you get this kind of a situation. You have categorical data, you need to add something, delete something, create 2 columns or create 4 columns, etc. etc. For that kind of a thing, you need to do. So that's why this is demonstrated here. So for the male, this thing, if I press F2, so it searches for F2 in the E column, goes to the gender column, picks up the male gender here, and from the salary column, it puts all those salaries in the column of male salary. So as you notice, there are a lot of, in this data set, more female employees outnumber the male employees. Once you have this data, you can create graphs or whatever it is. So this is the way. For real life, you can expect this kind of a thing. For small to moderately sized data sets, I can say, which Excel can play a lot role. And I overemphasize also the fact that 50 to 60% of your work, so persons in management or in engineering or data operations also, people will try to use Excel. So today's Excel, especially after 2013, it is astonishingly very good and you can use it for your own data. Try to put something else also. Don't worry about thing. I have done a 2 genders, so maybe you can put some income group, 5 income groups, and put some numbers or which department they belong or something like that, and try to categorize into 5 different groups. I mean to say you will have 5 different columns here. So try it out as an exercise and let me know. Okay, so let's move to our class actually. So we'll go to pivot tables. So you can click on the link which I told you, and you can get to this URL. We have a lot of data here. So let's see what best we can do about trying to with regard to pivot. So pivot tables is something very, very important. After I told you VLOOKUP, especially VLOOKUP, after VLOOKUP, what we tend to do is like trying to do a lot of pivot tables. So in statistics, it's known as contingency tables. So in the Excel parlance, it is known as a pivot table, similar application only. So it can do like how you can, the way you can envision, you can do a lot of things here. So let's see. So let me download the table. So you also please download the Excel file here on the link which I have provided. So this is the data which is available to us. So it has an order ID. What is the product? What is the category? What is the amount? What is the date? So some country names has been mentioned. So if you have any data set, something like that, so you can work on this kind of a concept. So I think many of you, at least a couple of you might have worked on this kind of things. There are many ways you can think of what. So from the data, what you pick up and after what you do is very much important. So that's how those things which I have chosen exclusively for our work when you go to statistics and all has been put here. So you may not see all the workings in our statistics class, but you can relate to many things here. So that's what you can really. So let's try to see what exactly he does. It has been done already. It will follow this page. What the author of the blog has done, we will also do it. To insert a pivot table, executing the following steps. Click any single cell inside the data set. On the Insert tab with the Tables group, click Pivot Table. So let's try to do it. So it is in the order ID 1. I need to go to insert here. So click on the pivot table, which is the first one. So it will choose the data, whatever it is here. So I want to put it in a new worksheet. So I'll say new worksheet is by default, it will be there. And I say OK. So on a new worksheet, that is sheet 2 will be created. And you find this kind of a pivot table dialog box to the right of the screen. And you have to do some manipulations to get an answer to the left of the screen. So that's what we will also tend to do it. So it checks whatever is the table or the data range for this thing. So we'll go where we, it's a new sheet. So we have to drag column name, whatever it is there. So to get the total amount exported of each product, drag the following fields to different areas. Product field to the row area. So I need to go to the product field to the, so click on it and it has been put to the row area. So to the left of the screen, you can see the row labels, whatever is there. I immediately, if we take this thing here, it will automatically populate what are the products here. So like our index and match, it is able to filter on what is the products, even though it is repeated, only the things which are there in terms of apple, banana, beans, etc., etc., are displayed here. So next, we'll see like what exactly he does it. Amount field to the value area, country field to the filter area. So amount field value, right? Country field to the filter area. So it's been repeated. So let me remove. So I have this country field to the filters. So it is able to tell us now all the things are there. So country wise, if you want to see, for example, in Australia, and I say okay. So in Australia, so what is the amount or something like that for Apple or something? So if you are also working, you should be able to get the same answer. If I don't filter on any country, we can find that bananas is the main export product. So because in terms of amount, that's the value is high. So to get banana at the top of the list, start the pivot table. So click any cell inside the sum of the amount column, right click and click on sort. So that's what we'll do from largest to smallest. This I'll put it as all. Say OK. So click on here, click right, sort, largest to. So it's sorted for me. So let me zoom it. So are there any challenges? All of you got the same results? Anybody has any challenges? So previously it was not sorted. So now banana is the major export. So that is what being shown. So all of you got the answers?
Yes, sir.
Yes, Professor.
Yeah.
Yes, Professor.
So because we added the country field to the filters area, we can filter this pivot table by country. So that's what I did earlier, showing Australia. So he does France. Let us also do France. So for France, so this is the thing. So here, what happens is like apples outshines banana in terms of starting here. So that's what happens with this. So it is knows that I had already sorted it. So it doesn't go by that kind of thing that not put it back to the original list, whatever we had it. So for France, so it thinks that it's already been set to the pivot table that that has to be started from larger to smallest. So apple here outshines banana, whereas for all the countries, banana was the larger export. So we can change the summary calculation. By default, Excel summarizes your data by summing or counting. So to change type of calculation that you want to use, click any cell inside the sum of the amount column, and we can change the value field settings. So he's taking count now. So let us take count and say OK. So one more dialog box will open. I choose count of this thing. I say OK. The count of amount it is coming. So is that right or wrong? Is the way which we have to showcase it? Let us see. So 16 out of the 28 orders to France were Apple orders. So that's what it means. Because amount is the column which we have chosen here. So 16 orders were of Apple. So that's what it is able to say. So using this kind of so for presentation sake and all, you can think lot of other filters and etc. You can work on it. So we'll move to the next step. We'll try to do some kind of two-dimensional pivot. If you drag a field to the row area and column area, you can create a two-dimensional thing. First, insert a pivot table next to get the total amount expected to each country of each product. Drag the following fields to the different areas. So again, I'll try to do it. So country field to row, product field to columns, amount field to value, category field to filters. We have to refer back again and again. I'll park this thing for some time. Will not bother about it. Again, I'll say insert. So one more sheet will be inserted here. So that is my sheet 3 here. So what I need to do, country to row, product to column, country to row, product to column. So by default, so it created a matrix kind of a structure. So this is what we call it as a contingency table in statistics. So for just counting and all, single thing, whatever we counted was a frequency. So these are all some statistical terminologies which we will encounter when we start to the descriptive statistics portion of statistics using Excel. So by default, it can show count. So single column is basically frequency counting, whatever we call it. A two-dimensional table in form of this matrix. Of course, it's not yet populated yet. So this is known as a contingency table. So the name changes. So previously it was known as contingency tables and all. Now everybody tries to put it in, give a name as some kind of pivot tables and all. That's also fine. So anyway, the concept what we are trying to do are same, but using statistics like trying to find a chi-square value and all, what's the difference between the countries and the products or something like that, how it is differs, are there any variation in data? So these things are studied as part of statistics. So the creation part, so data preparation. So when you learn a programming language also, they emphasize or overemphasize on the data structure part. So similarly, we are trying to understand statistics through Excel. So like before that, we have to see like what are those data structures which are very much important. Using the formula function of Excel, we are trying to come to an understanding here. So next aspect is like amount to values, category to filters. Amount to values, category to filters. So this is the way which we get it. So I am able to populate whatever the aspects which are very much required for us in the form of this table. So actually I am the way which I am looking is like, so it is between the row labels are Australia, column names are the products here. Whatever went inside is the amount. About on top of it, I try to put a category level also. What are those categories? Drawing the table, but we can see it like, so one is a fruit, other is our vegetables. So these are two things which have to be seen here. So beans and broccoli, falls, and carrots also are vegetables. Banana, mango, and orange are on top of the thing. So just having Australia and banana is a two-way table. So the three-way, the next step of it is like adding a category. Amount is something I cannot say it's a three-way kind of thing. It is only the measure that forms a part of it. If I have a count, I'll get a count. If I want the amount, so the amount is displayed. That's how we should understand the workings of a pivot table. So it will help us a lot. So given large data sets and all, we can try to put it in this forum. Further on, we can do analysis. So this is what we did it. So to easily compare these numbers, create a pivot chart. As I told you, on top of it, I am creating a chart. So, and apply a filter. Maybe this one step too far for you at this stage, but it shows you one of the many other powerful pivot table features Excel has to offer. So can somebody tell me like how to create this pivot chart here? So if you are working, you got this table readily available. How to get this pivot chart?
We have to click on the table
Pivot chart.
and from there on design, we'll get an option of table over there at the top.
So
Is a pivot chart is there na recommend pivot table. There we can do pivot chart. Take the data.
pivot chart.
Yeah.
Okay. So should I do clustered columns or?
Yeah. Any option you can choose. This is the way of data.
Okay. So let me zoom it. So by this thing, you can get this pivot chart ready. You can think like So it's left to your ingenuity, like what exactly you wanted for a presentation. Based on that thing, you can present. So that's how we tend to do in a simple way. So we took a single column in terms of a frequency, this thing, created a pivot table there, a two-way table or a three-way table also we created today using a pivot option here on X. So that was about pivot tables. Any questions you have, I will be happy to answer here before I move to my next thing. Yes, anybody, any questions, please? Okay, I don't have any questions. So let me move. Let me close this off. So there are two options which we can do is for a single variable or a two variable data table. So he says that creating different scenarios. So there is something to linkages to it, which I have not covered. So what I will be trying is trying to tell you is like we can do options like creating different scenarios to find out like how if change certain things, how the data behaves. So might be for exclusively useful for different kind of management functions in terms of marketing, operations, supply chain, whatever you can think of. So assume you own a bookstore and have 100 books in storage. You sell a certain percentage for a highest price of $50 and certain percentage for lower price. So if you sell 60% for the highest price, cell D10 below calculates a total profit of 60 into $50 plus 40 into $20, 3,800 rupees. So that's what we have got it here. So yeah, total number of books, percentage sold for the highest price is 60%. So the same thing is for different scenarios. So for highest price, the first thing B4 star C4. B4 is this one. Star C4 is 60% of the books has to be sold for that thing. The unit profit is this one. For a lower price, 40. So this is next thing for $20. So total profit is something like he should be able to get 3,800 is what which we think of. So in case he splits this thing to 70%, 80% and those kind of things, what are the possible values you have to do it? So Excel has a inbuilt function known as table, which we use here to understand what is the underlying concept for this. So we'll remove this thing. So as he has told, auto, where am I? Okay. So on the data tab in the forecast group, click what if analysis. In that thing, the data table. Okay. So in data, I have to choose what if analysis. You have three aspects. Last one is the data table. So you get a small dialog box. So for the dialog box, what I need to enter. So we select cell C4 because the percentage refers to cell C4. Together with the formula in cell B12, Excel now knows that it should replace cell C4 with 60% to calculate the total profit. Replace cell C4 with 70% to calculate the total profit, etc. So by that thing, it goes on calculating for us. So what it does, so I should be on B12, all right? Yeah, I'm in B12, perfectly right. So I should be entering here. So with the $C, $4, okay. So I think I should be in okay, I should be in C13 to do this thing. Let me do that. I should be here. So I have just said I have copied this thing here, used equal to D10. So it's put me the results here. So for 60%, and so on and so forth, it should be able to calculate me the other aspects. So I come to here, come to data table. So enter $4. Say okay. Selection is in, make sure the copy and the paste areas don't overlap. So what is the wrong thing I'm doing? Don't know.
The bookstore, the heading, it should not take the heading. You should start with the A, B column, the data, maybe it will help.
Okay. So B13, I should be there, right? I should be at B13 and choose C4. Am I right? That way? I don't know. Let me try. So can anybody try on their own laptops? Let me know where I am wrong. C4. Okay, let me try to do it. Okay. The table. Okay, it chose for me there. I said okay. No, 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 no. Something wrong. Yeah, somebody help me. Oh, I think I have to choose the whole setup here, probably. Okay, let me try to do that here. I've populated it. Should be able to put it here. So it will do all the calculations for me. What if analysis, data table, choose thing, come here, say okay. Yes. So it has to have some kind of a table. This will try to bring out the possible scenario. So first it will go by 3,800 here. So 60% is there. So same thing will be populated here. For 70%, what could be the profit? So as you notice, it has a formula, something like this. So looks quite odd. So because there is some only a comma there, you have C4 there. So that's why it tries to calculate the results. So till about 100%, whatever it is there, it will try to give us. So imagine if I change this to something lesser here. So it works. So should I put it to 50? Everything changes. So if I change this to 50, highest price 50, lowest price 50, so all these things changed. That also is positive. So you can think of like this. So it is able to populate all these things. I try to some color coding to this. Yes, it is able to do it. So some kind of AI logic, I can say, artificial intelligence. So it is able to do some kind of a data table for us where it will have different scenarios for us. If you are negotiating some sales or something, based on certain negotiation, something like you are talking to somebody, so you always do not want to be there. That point of other scenarios, because the client may not like certain posts. You need to change it immediately, put some other number, write a invoice at that point of time for this. Of course, I'm telling a very basic or something to think of. So formula bar indicates that the cell contains an array formula, therefore you cannot delete a single result. To delete the result, select the range B13 to DB17 and press delete. Right. So that was for a single variable. So if I need to do for a two variables, let's see what is my data. Same data is there. Only thing is like now you have some data here and you have some kind of a contingency table here where other things are taken into consideration. So what are those? Why these are marked like this? Let us try to see it. Select cell A12 and type D10, refer to the total profit cell. Same thing. So the first portion of the table is similar. So I put it in D10 value in A12. Right? Yes. So this is equal to D10 is being put here. So what are the other things here for this? Type different unit profits, the highest price in row 12. Yes, okay. So, so here I had something like 60, 40 and all. So here I am putting, sorry, unit profit 50 and 20. So I'm putting 50, 60, 70 also. So that's the profit which I'm changing, which is in D7 and D8. So those are things I'm trying to vary here. So that's what is being chosen here. So on the data tab, the forecast, okay, we check what if, okay. Click in the row input cell box and select D7. In the column input box cell, select C4. So what is D7? What is C4? So my D7 is Yeah, the first one. C4 is my, okay, fine. So I will remove all this. Close the whole setup here. So go to data, what if analysis, data table. Column was one. Am I right? So this or either way. Say okay. Something wrong with what is not expected. It has to be the reverse things. Column cell C4, row is C7. Yeah, I got this. So if you do something wrong, you get some fancy results there. So you have to be very careful with what we need to be done. So let me highlight this. So what it means to us. So if you sell 60% of the highest price at a unit profit of 50, you obtain a total profit of 3,800. If you sell 80% of the highest price at a unit profit of 60, you obtain a total profit of 5,200. So that's how we will go on trying to interpret it. This is a very fundamental or a very foundational way where we try to understand how a data table can be used. There are many applications of this thing. So maybe you can write out other formulations and all. Of course, you can take some other examples also and try to come up with this kind of scenarios. Okay, so this was about data tables. So any questions you have? Else we move to the next aspect. Yes, anybody any questions? Okay, I don't have any questions. So let me download this solver. Oh no, sorry. So at a very basic level, what it does is like, if you know the result you want from a formula, use goal seek in Excel to find the input value that produces the formula result. So I have a Excel sheet. So it shows me that have some 4 exams are put there. There is no value for this thing, if you notice. There is the final grade which is given here. So we need to use goal seek in Excel to find the 4th grade exam year. So something like I want to find out what could be the final grade, should be something like 70 is what which we need to find it out. So the grade on the 4th exam in cell is the input cell which we have to put it. So we'll try to put that thing and try to achieve whatever we want to see. So when you think of something like what exactly we are doing in terms of some mathematical manipulation, go back to your high school or college this and all. What exactly we are doing? So imagine there was no goal seek taught to us. There was no Excel taught to us in high schools and all. So what exactly we are doing here? So there was no final grade, for example. So we were given about 3 exam results. We were asked to find the 4th. So what we did, can anybody tell me? Can anybody give me that mathematical name? I think I have done it. Every one of you should have done it. Yes, can somebody tell me?
So exam 4, you want the grade or you want the mark?
I don't want anything. What was that mathematical method we were taught in our high school? Or even
Grading.
Sorry?
Grading for grading.
Yeah, grading. No, grading is fine. Like it was a mathematical method taught to us, right? Something. That was a method, like say for example, we were taught calculus. So in calculus,
30%, 50%, and 60%.
That's the progression, I think. You're
yeah, very much. So if one more good thing is like, so if you have heard of interpolation, extrapolation, and all.
Audited but forgot actually. What is that?
That is what is being done here. At least in this example per se, we tend to find that thing where we should they get a grade of some 70 or something like that. I need to find out that exam. So we were not given anything like that final grade finding. We need to put some number to that thing. We used to calculate and all, do some magic and all. We were told that that was some about 5 marks question, definitely it will come. So we just by heart thing and put it so that you come with right. So that's a thing. So probably we were never imagined this kind of a situation. Of course, there was no. I'm not talking about goal seek and all. Let's forget about goal seek and all. But that method, whatever was taught like this, the same thing has been implemented in this form. Excel. So in real life also, we tend to try to do this where we may have some missing values and all. Statistics, all values and all will not get it. So we need to implement or impute some missing values. At that point of time, we'll try to use this kind of a method. So that's how we tend to understanding it in the form of this goal seek. So I want to put it to 70. So let me click on goal seek, select cell B7, click in the value to value 70 by changing the box and select type B5. So let's try to do that. So 70 is something which your manager or somebody has decided that it has to come there. So we'll go by that kind of an analogy here. Let's try to get an answer. So we come here. So go to data, what if analysis, click on goal seek. Okay. That cell B7 already has been selected because it usually follows the aspect. It doesn't know that we are trying to do goal seek. Probably it went by a formula understanding, I think so. So 70, which we need to change. So by changing cells, which one? This one, if I say OK, so it started calculating and all. So I got a value of 9. So I wanted a grade of 70 at my final grade. In exam 4, I should be able to get. You might think of something like try to improve our CGPAs. So what should I get in some semester 4 or something like that to achieve a final grade of 70%, some kind of distinction or something like that. So that's the way which you have to imagine any problem situation. Let's forget exam and all, but we can think of this kind of situation. So that's the one way of trying to do a goal seek. So it got me a answer of 90. So that's what we also got it. So next example is like second type of this thing is like, so we'll use goal seek to find the loan amount that produces a monthly payment of $1,500. So you might have bought a house or something like that. So what's the kind of you negotiate with your bank and all, what you could pay in EMI or something like that. So something like that can be thought of. That's one more way of doing a goal. So exactly relational to statistics, how we use and all, like when you have data and all, you calculate something out of it. So you have to derive, get data dump and all. Maybe like you have to put some measures, like the measure is here is like a monthly payment or something like that. You derive a metric out of. So for that process and all, you may use goal seek and all. So it's like we try to teach things in silos, like the connection and all matters when we try to really put it to a problem. So we may not have an exact idea of like how exactly we need to put it and all. So that thing which we have to take into consideration. So just a moment. Just be there 1 second. Yeah, I'm sorry about that. Some disturbance. Go and stop it. Okay, this is one way of trying to do that thing. So let's also try to do what exactly we need to pay. The formula cell B5 calculates the monthly payments. That's what we need to do it. So Pmt function is like calculating an EMI or something like that. Maybe somebody in this class is from a finance background, they will understand that thing a bit more. Let's try to see what exactly we have in our cache. So Pmt function calculates the payment for a loan. If you have never heard of this function, that's okay. Higher the loan amount, higher the monthly payment. Assume you can only afford $1,500. What is your maximum loan amount? So the loan amount in cell B3 is the input cell on the data tab. So let's see if we are able to get that kind of a answer. So it is showing today like I need to pay 1,798 or something like that. But I need to bring it to say about $1,500 is what is the way which we have to think. So these are some kind of negotiations we try to do with our, if we try to purchase an apartment or something like that. So those kind of things can be envisioned here for this application. So let's try to do the same thing here. So what is input, what is output for us? So I go here. What if analysis, goal seek. So already taken the B5 as an input here. Yes. Click in the to value and type minus 1,500 because you are paying out money. So that's why we try to put that kind of thing here. So I put minus 1,500. So by changing what cell? Cell B3. Say okay. So this is the answer which I get. Loan amount got changed 250, 187. So monthly payment I can afford is about $1,500. So this is the way it's calculated. This kind of calculations can be done. So we try to find some goal seek precision. This returns approximate solutions. You can change the iteration settings to find a more precise one. So the formula in cell B1 calculates the square of the value in cell A1. So that's what it does it. Use goal seek to find the input value that produces the formula result of 25. So some kind of precision values we need to find out. So let's try to do it. So B1 25 and A1. Already done, so I think it should take some other value. So it was 4, this was 2, right? No, that's the other way around. Yes. So this is how the value works. You can change something else also. So I need to have some kind of 36 or something like that. So what could be that value? That also we can think of. Maybe you can try changing different values and get more about that. So what are the kind of settings you can complete it also as given here. Want to get deeper into it, you can have a look around that. So one more example is there. You can try it out as an exercise. So if you have any questions, happy to answer. Else we'll move to what if analysis. Yes, any questions, please? Okay, I'll move to what if analysis. So something has already been done here. The same example, bookstore example only has been taken here. We'll also try to do what exactly has been said here. So this allows us to try out different values for formulas. The following example helps you to master what if analysis. Assume you own a bookstore and have 100 books. You sell certain percentage for the highest price and a certain percentage for the lowest price. The same articulation has been done here. So I need to create, but what if you sell 70% of the highest price and what if you sell 80% of the highest price or 90%? So you can use scenario manager to create these scenarios. So that is what it does, the actual what if scenarios. So in terms of in usage for statistical analysis, so you need to give like some kind of different scenarios to client in terms of, so it is not, when you see a comparison to data table, it looks somewhat similar, not be the same here. So it's a bit different from that thing because it uses a different kind of a logic to come up for this kind of calculation. But he has used the same bookstore example, so there might be some overlapping or confusion here. So that should not be a constraint to understanding this thing. So let's see what he does for us. So go to what if, choose scenario manager. So something has been already put here. Nothing has been put. So probably we need to get that thing out because he has already put it because it has already been solved here. We try to do it. Okay. We do. Okay. So go to what is, so there are no scenarios here. So we need to add that scenarios here. So let's try to do that. So type a name, select cell C4 for changing the cells. You can write whatever comment and whatever it is there and say prevent changes and say okay. Let's try to do the first one, 60% highest exposure. Let me try to use the same. Okay, by changing cells C4 so by default is created by Amarnath. Who did the changes and all. So it's like some kind of track changes somebody wants to know. So I have clicked on to prevent changes and I say okay. So enter values for each of the changing cells. So what does he do? So it is 0.6 and I say okay. So one thing has been added to this thing. Next we'll choose one more. So 70% highest. I'll do something else also. So might be right. Add. So I'll try to put 55%. Yes. By changing cells. One. Okay. Okay. Zero point 0.5. And chosen two things here. That's all that should be enough. If I say show, So change that to become 65. This is 65 and 35 here. So I get a profit of 2,950 here. So when you look at the scenario summaries and all, so it will try to give it. So that also can be. Okay. Scenario summary. Select cell D10 total profit for the result cell and click OK. Yeah, this is the thing which is created for me. So this is how we can get different results. You can put anything because he has put 60, 70, 80 and all. I can put 65, 75 or 82, whatever it is, whatever the different scenarios I like to have. I can not restricted to a 5% change. Based on whatever the data you have it or kind of understanding you have about the perspective of the problem, you can change it. So this is all I had for today's class. Any questions are there, I will be happy to answer. Anybody, any questions, please?
No, sir. We'll practice and come back.
Yeah, you can practice it. You can see many other things. I think for VLOOKUP, I had shared a link from the last class. You can practice that also. It also looks very interesting. And we'll again meet on Sunday.
Sunday morning, sir.
So Sunday, yeah, Sunday morning between 10 and 12. So,
Okay, sure.
so we'll be talking about the maths thing. So I've already shared the file, whatever is required. Book is also there. Maybe if somebody wants an example on that thing, we'll try to do something using this thing. So we'll be working with this equations, trying to understand the solver function. So solver function is here. So data, when you see this thing, solver, so we'll be trying to understand this thing. So using quadratic formula, revisit your, you can see the book also will follow the other manual of Excel manual, which I have done for shared with you. Trying to do all this thing, some functions, something regard solve quadratic formula and all. So try to revisit that. Okay then.
Thank you,
So
sir.
we'll meet again on Sunday morning. So for the next week also, we'll be following the same pattern from Monday, Wednesday, and Friday between 7 and 8:30. For the other next weekend, I'll tell you because a lot of things are clashing. So what's the timings which we meet during the weekend? I'll let you know. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Professor. Good night.
Thank you, sir.